Elon Musk's plan to put 1 million people on Mars by 2050. Real plan or madness? 1 million people living on a dead planet. By 2050 sounds insane, right? But when Elon Musk says something, the world pays attention. He's landed rockets standing upright, put electric cars into orbit, turned the impossible into reality. So what about this time, September 2016, International Astronautical Congress in Mexico? Elon Musk stepped onto the stage with a bold declaration. He wanted to turn humanity into a multi-planetary species, starting with Mars. The goal? 1 million people settled within 30 years. Many laughed, thought it was just another billionaire's sci-fi fantasy. But 8 years later, in 2024, SpaceX successfully launched Starship, a rocket 123 meters tall, the most powerful in human history. And here's the key point. Each Starship can carry 100 people. The plan is to build 1,000 ships, flying every 26 months when Earth and Mars are closest together. Do the math. 100 people times 1,000 ships equals 100,000 people per cycle. Do that for 10 cycles, 20 years. That's 1 million people. Sounds simple, right? But reality is far more complex. In May 2025, Musk announced SpaceX will send 5 uncrewed ships to Mars in 2026 to test landing. If successful, the first crewed flight will happen in 2028 or 2030. This is no longer a distant dream. This is a plan with concrete milestones, with budget, with rockets testing right now. So what could stop it? Let's talk about the number nobody wants to hear. Currently, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy costs about $1,400 to put 1 kilogram into Earth orbit. That's already the cheapest in the world. Getting to Mars, 200 times farther, much harder, requires exponentially more fuel. One person needs at least 100 kilograms of cargo food, water, oxygen, equipment. Multiply by 1 million people. The cost reaches trillions of dollars. For comparison, NASA's entire annual budget is just $25 billion. So how can Musk pay for this? The answer lies in Starship. Starship is designed to be fully reusable. Launch, land, refuel, launch again. Like an airplane, Musk's target, $10 per kilogram to orbit, compared to $1,400 today. Sounds impossible, right? 10 years ago, nobody believed SpaceX could land a rocket vertically. Now they do it every week, but to reach the 1 million goal, SpaceX needs mass production, and they're doing it. At Starbase, Texas, SpaceX is building the Gigabay, a massive factory worth $250 million. Expected completion by late 2026. The long-term goal? Produce 1 Starship per day, 365 ships per year. But even if costs drop dramatically, 2 bigger problems remain. Imagine the most hellish place you've ever seen. Mars is worse. Average temperature, minus 63 degrees Celsius, colder than Antarctica. Atmosphere is just 1% of Earth's. You can't breathe. No magnetic field for protection. Every day you'd receive radiation equivalent to 1 hip X-ray. Step outside without a suit, dead in 30 seconds. So how can 1 million people live there? The answer lies in Mars itself. The atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide. Underground, there's water-ice. Combine these two, and you can create oxygen to breathe, methane for fuel, water to drink, and grow crops. This is the core of Mars Direct, a plan developed by engineer Robert Zubrin. Since the 90s, Zubrin wrote The Case for Mars, explaining it in detail. According to him, we already have the technology to do this. The problem isn't science, it's determination. SpaceX is testing this technology. NASA's Perseverance rover successfully created oxygen from Mars' atmosphere in 2021. Proof of concept works. But creating oxygen is just the first step. The real problem is the human body. This is the scariest part. Flying to Mars takes 6 to 9 months. Zero gravity. Constant radiation. In a space as cramped as an airplane cabin. NASA research on the International Space Station shows after 6 months in space, bones lose 1 to 1.5% of density per month, total of 6 to 10%. Muscles weaken by 10 to 20%. Some astronauts lose up to 15% of hip bone density, equivalent to 20 years of aging, in just 6 months. And that's just the journey. Living on Mars is even harsher. Gravity is only 38% of Earth's. What does this mean? Children born on Mars will grow up in low gravity. Their bones will develop differently. Weaker muscles. Hearts pump blood differently. Scott Solomon, an evolutionary biology professor at Rice University, has spent years studying this. He says, after several generations on Mars, humans could evolve into a new species, taller, due to low gravity. Thinner bones. Skin might darken to resist radiation, and they may never be able to live on Earth again. Sounds scary, right? But NASA and SpaceX don't see this as a barrier. They're actively researching how to help humans adapt. Exercise in space, anti-osteoporosis drugs, special nutrition programs. The question isn't whether we can survive on Mars, it's why we should do it. So why take such a risk? Elon Musk gives a simple answer. Earth won't be safe forever. Asteroids, nuclear war, climate change and global pandemics. Anything could wipe out humanity. Low probability each year? Maybe. But over 1 million years? Almost certain. If we only live on one planet, we're putting all our eggs in one basket. If we live on 2 planets, survival chances double, maybe more. This isn't just Musk's dream. NASA plans to send humans to Mars in the 2030s. China announced a target for 2044. Companies like Blue Origin are also developing heavy-lift rockets. The race has begun. And this time, it's not between superpowers, but between bold entrepreneurs. This isn't just a backup plan for humanity. This is the biggest evolutionary step in history. The first time a species consciously decides to become multi-planetary, and the decisions we make today will shape civilizations hundreds of years from now. So where are we on this journey? In 2025, SpaceX is approved for 25 Starship launches from Starbase 5, times more than the previous year. Short-term goal, prove orbital refueling capability. A Mars flight requires 8 to 20 refueling trips. Nobody's done this yet. Mid-term goal, successfully land both booster and Starship. Rapid reusability. In October 2024, for the first time in history, SpaceX caught a booster with giant robotic arms. Long-term goal, fly to Mars. If 5 uncrewed ships land successfully in 2026, crewed flights will begin 2 to 4 years later. But many problems remain unsolved. Life support systems, radiation protection, emergency medicine on Mars. And the biggest question, who will be the first people? 1 million people on Mars by 2050. Is it realistic? Technically, maybe. Financially, very difficult. Biologically, uncertain. But maybe that's not the right question. The real question is, do we dare to try? History shows humanity always explores, always pushes boundaries. Not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Each time we reach farther, we learn something new, invent new technology, become stronger. Maybe Elon Musk is wrong. Maybe 1 million people by 2050 is impossible. But just by trying, just by attempting, we've already changed the definition of what humans can do, and perhaps that's the most important point of all.